And she identified three major actions that the province could take on climate action. And the first one was carbon pricing, and we always hear about that in the news. Carbon tax is well regarded by economists as a way to lower greenhouse gas emissions. Whether it's politically saleable is always the issue of debate, but I think people acknowledge that it's a powerful tool. Number two, though, was land use, and in her language, it was stopping sprawl and enhancing intensification. And so that's where and number three was actually protecting nature, and those two things go together, right? If we intensify more, we can protect nature. So so we're really advocating. So to kind of follow then is, what about this action plan for 50-minute neighborhoods? We're really kind of zeroing in on the importance of density. And we understand that density is not like a switch that you flick. You get density and all of a sudden, bells go off and everything's great. We understand that there are concerns around density. Not all neighborhoods want to intensify quickly, but from a climate lens, the logic is pretty simple in the sense that the denser you get in general, the better you're doing. There's a strong inverse correlation between the density of a city and its greenhouse gas emissions. So the denser you get, the lower your greenhouse gas emissions per capita. Barcelona, it'll take us a long time to get to the level of greenhouse gas efficiency of like a Barcelona, and many more measures than Barcelona needs to take to get to net zero, because they've already got the built form. And another quick kind of example is, purely by virtue of waking up every morning where they do, the average Manhattanite has a lower carbon footprint than anyone else in the United States, purely by virtue of where they live, because Manhattan is a very dense, walkable community. Does it follow that we want to turn Ottawa into Manhattan tomorrow? No. And so that's a non-starter, and that's fine. But can we do density right and build these kind of livable, walkable neighborhoods? I think the answer is yes. And I think, Walkable Ottawa has some really interesting studies in terms of what that would look like in neighborhoods like Overbrook. A lot of our kind of these neighborhoods that are fairly close to the core, but were built on a different model. I'm in Old Ottawa East, so not too far from Overbrook, and it's the same here. We could do a lot more in terms of density here to make it a much more walkable neighborhood.